Welcome to Chibi Tales, where we always make it a point to check our soda cans. We've got some great stories handpicked from r/TIFU in this video, including a particularly embarrassing Zoom call. Our first story comes from user Swim Ginger Hour, where even the long arm of the law couldn't catch up with a fart. So when I woke up today, I had really painful cramps due to the deadly women's monthly cycle. Now combining this with some spiced chicken from last night meant that my belly was in for a long day. Anyway, I go to the toilet about 3 times before I head to work this morning, just to be safe. And it worked. Well, kinda. It eased off a bit, so I took some tablets, all ready to grin and bear it, and then I left for work. Now my job is working within the prison system and escorting prisoners to certain places, including courts. This is not as badass as it sounds, by the way, because this is where it all went downhill. I had to escort this prisoner over to the witness box and stand next to her, but my tummy had other plans. I am trying my absolute best to put off a fart which I know is brewing, but I can't hold it much longer. So I passed a really silent one and pat myself on the back, thinking I had gotten away with it. That is, until the prisoner starts coughing and retching and shouting. What the fuck is that? I very quickly realized what it must be, but I can't admit that. So what did I do? I started wrinkling my nose as well and started gagging. The admin clerk walks slightly closer and retches so hard she had to swiftly put her head in the bin. By this point, it's getting loud and chaos is starting to ensue. And that is something you do not want in a court, especially in front of the district judge. He quickly tells me to take the prisoner back over to the closed dock and states it must be the pipes. He stands down the whole of the court and makes maintenance come in to check all pipes for any leaks, cracks, or anything which could have caused that smell. The prisoner still has watery eyes, and I'm pretending to gag, and the clerk is sipping water next to a bucket. So yeah, the court was stood down for over an hour whilst it was searched for the cause of the smell, not knowing that the cause was back down in the cells, hanging her head in shame and regaling her co-workers about the leaky pipe upstairs. Wow, talk about a fart so smelly, it closes out a court for an hour. And here I thought my farts were bad. What's your most embarrassing fart story? Let me know in the comments below. Our next story comes from user Atonal Potatoes, who proves that sodas are unhealthy, especially if you don't look in the can before. First, some background. My partner always leaves a little bit of Coke Zero in his can after drinking it. And this is totally gross, but I love the taste of flat soda. So whenever I clean up the empty cans, I take the last swig of whatever is left over. Really disgusting. Don't judge. Nobody's perfect. Anywho, this morning I go to do this as I always do. Turns out he had done a water test to test the ammonia, pH, nitrates, etc. in our aquarium salt water the night before. He had dumped the remnants of the test chemicals and salt water into his Coke Zero can unbeknownst to me. I picked it up this morning and was like, oh man, score! There's a lot left in here. And geared up to slurp it down. Slurp, 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 slurp. Yes, I'm a disgusting human. We've established this. Get over it. Of course, upon initial contact with this horrific concoction, I had realized my grave error. I ended up spitting it all over the living room and, not long after, my throat started to tingle. And I mean really tingle. This was when panic set in. I was alone, my dogs just stared at me. Is this how I die? What would the coroner think? I ended up calling poison control to ask them if I was dying, and I had to tell them that I had accidentally consumed a mixture of aquarium water testing chemicals and salt water. This is harder to explain than one might think, especially when you think you might be actively dying. At this point, my throat is pulsating, and I can feel my pulse quickening. I know I am probably imagining these problems, but I can't help it. After asking me several times, "Wait, you did what?" the kind man at Poison Control told me to gargle with vinegar, monitor my symptoms, and not to consume aquarium saltwater test chemicals ever again. No shit. As for my boyfriend, yeah, he f***ed up too. At least we learned our lesson with minimal consequences. A fuck up all around. Guys, I don't know about you, but I think OP's partner was trying to kill him. It all checks out. He obviously knew OP took swigs of flat soda from the cans, so why would he leave something poisonous in them? Think about it. What's your disgusting little habit that no one knows about? Comment below and let me know. Our last story for the day comes from user I Ate That Food, where unlike their username, they didn't stop at that, at the worst of places. So I've been working from home recently and I'm pretty fortunate because basically there is no function of my job I need to be in the office for. But I have left some of the bad habits sleep in. I'm sure anyone in an office knows that like 80% of the meetings you attend could probably just be an email. But since we are in a meeting via Zoom, and since a lot of people don't even enable video, if I'm in a meeting I know isn't important, and where I probably won't even have to speak, I just mute myself and go sit on the sofa and play a video game on mute. Or browse the internet or eat lunch or whatever. Now the thing is, I have an odd quirk that I do when I eat by myself. I talk to my food. And to myself. On the day in question, for my lunch, I had a sandwich and some pita chips with hummus. So, for example, there's Hummus Among Us. Or when I had a chip, I would say things like, "That's what I call a chip." Or, "Welcome to my mouth, Mr. Pita." And the sandwich, well, I pretended it insulted me, so I was like, "Did you just call me a bitch? Ooh boy, you just butchered the wrong biscuit. Num 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 num." Or later, I would comfort it like, "Don't worry, had my fiber gummy, you're coming out smooth. Mm-mm-mm." I wasn't really listening to what was happening in the meeting, but I finally heard my name being called a few times. To my horror, I had not muted my mic. They heard it all. My manager was saying rather curtly, "Can you please mute yourself?" Some people were laughing. I mumbled an apology and muted myself. I got a stern message from him later saying I should wait for lunch until after a meeting, and if I had to eat during a meeting, mute myself. But it is clear, they think I am insane. In the eyes of my manager, I have lost all stature. And in the eyes of my coworkers, I am a lunatic. This could have negative effects on my career, and I am actually thinking of quitting tomorrow. Okay, I have no words. No zinger, no joke. Just pure awe. I mean, there's Hummus Among Us? Wow. Genius. That was r/TIFU. And if you like this video, be sure to smash that like button and share this video with your friends because it really helps my channel grow. And if you'd like to see more r/TIFU stories brought to life, subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon so you don't miss my next video. Talking to food, drinking poisonous soda, and deadly farts. Ah, the circle of life.